Good evening, City Council. Mayor Burcroft, Attorney Hitchcock, Chief of Staff, City Treasurer Stacy Page. Mr. Chairman, a quorum was established at the 7 o'clock special meeting study session. The agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. Number 5, mayor's report. Number 6, clerk's report. Number 7, treasurer's report. Public comment. Number 8, unfinished business. Number 9, number 10, new business. Number 11, communication, and 12 is adjournment. A motion to accept the agenda as presented is in order.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, to accept the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 2, minutes. Approval of minutes from the regular meeting held on February 24th, 2020.
We'll move for February 24th, 2020.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2020. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
4, minutes. Item B, approval of minutes from the public hearing held on February 24th, 2020.
So move for approval of minutes from the public hearing held February 24th, 2020.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, approval of the minutes from the public hearing held on February 24th, 2020. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 3, petitioner. No petitioners at this time. Number 4, chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. At 7 o'clock, we had a study session to discuss awards of ITB number 19/20-15. That's for the 2020 GMA paving contract. At this time, the chairperson is going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I have a couple of things. I'll be quick. I'd like a memorial resolution. It's for Lori Zilka, Lori Adniak Zilka. Somebody will expand on it.
Okay.
Lori, a week ago, she passed away at the very young age of only 62 years old. She leaves behind, it's her husband, Kenny, her 2 sons, one named Travis, one named Joshua. She had 3 siblings, Linda, Mamade, Johnny Hayniak, and Scott Hayniak. And she worked for many years. She worked in Allen Park for the AAA, and she was a very nice, decent human being, and she'll be missed.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
Under discussion, Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
was talking to her husband, Carrie, and it was tough. She got diagnosed late last year, another cancer issue. So here we talk about cancer. It's a constant battle in our community. If you can get involved and help anyway, Relay for Life, Walk for a Cure, whatever it may be. But please keep that family in your thoughts and prayers. It's been a tough road, and especially when you get that short period of time, and she was in an awful lot of pain. So their prayers of her not having pain, but now the pain's on the family dealing with the death. So please try to lift them up in prayer.
Okay, thank you. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for memorial resolution. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. That concludes the chairperson's
Mr.
report.
Barton, I had one more
Okay.
other thing. By popular demand, the 16th annual Romulus Animal Shelter Bowl-a-thon is going to be held again this year. Mayor Burcroft, as of usual, is paying for all the pizza, and we appreciate that. It's going to be held on Friday night, May the 8th at 7:30. If you're interested, and you'd like to donate or participate beginning on either Tuesday or Wednesday, you can go to the bowling alley and there'll be a sign-up sheet, or you can give me a call and I'll make sure that we find a spot. This is probably our biggest single fundraiser that we have, and it's going to be held at the Romulus Lanes, and we look for the public to come out again, and support us as they have done in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. That concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to approve the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5, Mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought this quote because it ties into what's been going on in the stock market. I thought it had good meaning. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. So keep that in mind. We've seen a wild ride, record drops, record back to 2008, and record gains again today. So in this market, the experts say be a long-term investor and don't look at your daily statement, I guess. I do have a short video and a couple things to cover, so if we could run that, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Here's what's going on around Romulus. On Saturday, March 7th, our own Artisan Reserve Brewery will be holding their first annual chili cook-off from 5 to 8 p.m. A $5 fee allows you to taste all the entries. Get all the details by checking their Facebook page. Next up, we have events from the Romulus Public Library.
Hi, this is Jessica Wilhoit, the Assistant Director and Youth Librarian at the Romulus Public Library. Wednesdays at 10:30, we have our toddler story time, and for the month of March, we will have special celebrity readers each week. On March 4th, we will have Councilwoman Tina Talley and Councilman William Wadsworth. On March 5th at 6 p.m., we have our craft club, which is for adults 18 and over. You may bring your own crafts in and socialize with other crafters, and refreshments are provided. On Saturday, March 7th at 10 a.m., we will have a special story time with Senator Erica Geis. On March 9th at 7 p.m. is our second Monday book club. We will be discussing The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. So March is Reading Month. We have a couple of programs happening for March's Reading Month. We have our annual Get Caught Reading Wall. You can take pictures of animals. People of all ages can get caught reading, and you can send the pictures to our Facebook page or romuluspubliclibrary@gmail.com, and we will post the picture on our wall in the library. On Tuesdays throughout the month of March, we will have programs at 6 p.m. March 3rd, we will have African American folk tales with instruments with Miss Rosie. On March 10th, we will have juggling and tricks with Rufus the Doofus. You can sign up for March's Reading Month beginning on Monday, March 2nd, and this is for kids 0 through teens through 17. And you can have a chance to win a $25 Visa gift card courtesy of Wings Financial.
For our good news of the week, we would like to give a special shout out to Romulus High School, who held their first business and alumni networking event this past Saturday. Almost 50 alumni and supporters came out to learn how to get more involved with their community and local students. Guest speaker was Mr. Lloyd Ward, RHS class of 1966 graduate, who has held such esteemed positions as President of Frito-Lay, President and CEO of Maytag, CEO and Secretary General of the U.S. Olympic Committee. Mr. Ward will be helping firsthand to create an alumni association and encourages all alumni to get involved and invest in our youth. To join the RHS Alumni Registry, visit tinyurl.com/RHS Alumni Reg. Thanks everyone. Remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more information. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for the video. Also, I noticed that we had a couple representatives from Great Lakes Water Authority, Mr. Chairman. I'd like them to come up briefly and just go over a couple things. We're having regular weekly meetings with them. Would you gentlemen mind just coming up briefly for one of the things that I know I'm asked for patience is the Great Lakes Water Authority has a project going on down Wick and Cogswell and out to Tyler. That's a redundant line that's coming through, and You know, we've had meetings here with the public, there's been notices going out. I know one thing that we have, and it kind of caught me off guard today, is we have an election next Tuesday, and we need to keep that access open. I think they put some barricades up at the tracks. I know that they were gonna stay west of the school, but could you address that or help us with that? Because I know we have, it's a crucial election. I know not the last meeting, but the one that our clerk, Ellen Bragg, and I were at, that would really help our residents getting access both north up Osga and still being able to come in from the east. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I saw you here, so I thought, welcome back to Romulus, and can you help us out with that one? Because my phone's been ringing already, so.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council of the City of Romulus. And thank you to the City of Romulus as the residents here tonight. Pete from Great Lakes Water Authority. I'm a management professional for them on our water engineering side, helping to manage a 48-inch transmission main project for Great Lakes Water Authority that will provide redundancy to the City of Romulus and other cities throughout the area. So our project has kicked off, as you can tell, on the west side. We're coming down Tyler, going to come up Cogswell and continue down Wick Road. And as you guys can tell, we've been staging pipe on the right-of-way and making our way to start the actual construction coming up this upcoming Monday. To us, we weren't aware of the election coming up this upcoming Tuesday either, but we will make sure that we address that to help have two-lane traffic coming down Wick Road. The barricades that are up right now is to help this week with unloading additional pipe. And I've spoken to the contractor's project manager as I was coming over here this evening to the council meeting, and we're going to address that with him to make sure that we work together next week to make sure that the residents inside the City of Romulus does have access for that election.
Yeah, that would be very helpful, because I know the meeting that, and I don't even think you were at that one. I think, you know, maybe it was just us over at DPW, but when Elle and I were there, I mean, that election came up and it was like, we're not even gonna be anywhere near that. Now I see they're kind of just west of the school, which that's okay. So they're gonna stage and then stop at Osga then, is that the plan? Or are they gonna keep continuing east?
So they're gonna stage, they got some milling that they're gonna come in and do down Tyler and Cogswell and some of Wick, but to be able to make a productive day out of it, they might continue down a little bit. But speaking with the project manager, we're gonna work something out for next week to
So
be
not
able to
until after
accommodate.
Tuesday, hopefully, or, okay.
That's my plan and that's my hope.
Okay.
We're gonna work with the contractor to
Thank
be
you.
able to help the city. So, and we appreciate the city and their patience on this project as well as we're getting started off, so.
Yeah, anything you can do. I mean, it's gonna be a challenging year. We know that. We're just trying to make sure that we're keeping, obviously, things available for residents that are living there and that they have emergency vehicles and that need to have, you know, access as much as possible. So that one threw me for a loop on the election next week. So if you could help us with that, then our residents can still come in from the east and from the south on Osga and, you know, try to help, so.
Yeah, we'll follow up with the contractor tomorrow, and we'll follow up with Roberto and the mayor. And
Thank
I
you.
just want to say that I appreciate Roberto and the mayor with all the support and the communication that they've been able to provide us as well.
Mr. Wadsworth.
If I can, Mayor Burkhoff talked about the election next week. What about come November for the presidential election? Will you be come and gone by then?
Yeah, I mean, you want to speak to that? Basically, the plan was it's going to be, the part of the contract is it'll be available and accessible. It'll be coming up through Osga is the detour route right across to the middle school. We had Ellen there. We had schools there. I've got to circle back because some of the people that were involved in discussion with the schools are not at the schools. So I talked to Ellen today, and she was going to be reaching out to them. But my understanding is there should be no disruption. The precincts will stay. The schools are making arrangements and so forth. Now, that's the plan. Hopefully that doesn't change. So.
Okay, fine.
And also to touch on that, our plan is to be east of when the presidential election does come in November. But also we're going to make sure that we accommodate during the August election as well.
Correct.
To the city of Romulus. And we've been working with Roberto and the mayor on that as well.
Thank you.
And the contractor understands the importance of that.
The one thing that we talked about at our last meeting for councils, and I know the public's sake, is that we're gonna be also trying to do some little PSA updates, send cable down, do an interview. What are you doing this next week? Both, I know they knocked on doors for residents to let them know they were putting pipe out, but to try, I think that, we all need to communicate. And, if we can hopefully do that and stay to the plan, we'll try to, it'll still be disrupted, but it'll be better, so.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb?
Yeah, I'd like to request, to my colleagues, that when you're riding around and you see something, call the mayor's office. I did, and I spoke with Julie, and then Roberto came back. When we see things that we know that our residents, that's going to cause our residents any slowing down or undue harm, like no signage or things like that, we should call the mayor's office and then let them handle that, because they are in meetings with the contractors and they know what is going on.
Good point. Yeah, if you have anything, don't hesitate, call. If it's according to the plan, we'll know that. If it's not, we'll dive into it and get an answer. But we have people overseeing the project, watching, Great Lakes and the contractor, Rickman. And so we're trying to make sure everybody's sticking to the plan, and help us with that, please.
And as you say, not to cut you off, Mayor, you have to tear down sometimes to build up. And I don't like to hear people complain about construction, backup traffic, but if it's safety issues, that's what our concern would be.
Yeah, so we heard about the issue today, and we addressed that this afternoon. And we'll make sure that we continue to address issues as the project continues.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming up, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have a couple action items before council tonight as well, too. The first one is item A. What you have is a recommendation from Julie Albert, our Director of Assessing and Financial Services, and the request is to concur the administration and confirm and certify the proposed special assessment roll for the removal and replacement of the pedestrian lighting on the west side of Wickham from Merriman to Wick.
Through the chair, if I may?
Yes, Ms. Webb?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and confirm and to certify the proposed special assessment roll for the removal and replacement of pedestrian lighting. And I do have one question for our assessor.
Julie, could you come up, please?
I'll support that.
You support
Thank
Ms.
you.
Roscoe? Okay.
Just one quick question. I know this is the fourth and final stage of this. When will this start? When will the project start?
Good question. I hope to have the agreement signed and over to DTE tomorrow, and then it will get put on their scheduling. So
Okay.
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the Special Assessment District to improve the pedestrian lighting on the west side of Wickham and Merriman, south of Wick. Any other discussion on this matter? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item is a recommendation from Tanya Cofield, Recreation Coordinator and Legal Counsel. And this request is to concur the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached memorandum of understanding that would be between the city of Romulus and the Michigan Recreation and Parks Association for infrastructure enhancements at the Boise Fernandez Parkway Trail, and also at Columbus and Hurst Street. That would be for $10,000 for seal coating the parkway and physical activity programming, and at Boise Fernandez Parkway Trail, an additional $4,400.
Chair,
You
I'll
have an
make that
attached memo with the detail.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, for memorandum of understanding for M Parks. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Chair, under the clerk's report, before I introduce Action item 6A, a short video is prepared regarding the presidential primary election for next Tuesday.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. On Tuesday, March 10th, a presidential primary election will be held throughout the state of Michigan. Here are a few points and reminders concerning this election that I would like to share with you. First, the polls will open at 7 o'clock a.m. and close at 8 o'clock p.m. Schools will be open. Therefore, alternative entrances have been established for access to your precinct. To avoid disrupting class hours and the general public walking through the building, please adhere to the signage directing you to the entrances of your precinct. Those wishing to register to vote for this primary election must do so in person at the clerk's office located on the first floor at the City Hall building. You must have photo ID and proof of residency. Absentee voting is available to all registered voters. Pursuant to Michigan election law, the clerk's office will extend its hours to the following: Friday, March 7th, 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Saturday, March 8th, 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. and on Monday, March 9th, 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Here are a few reminders concerning absentee ballot voting. Friday will be the last day that an absentee ballot can be requested by mail. On Saturday, you are welcome to come by the clerk's office to request an absentee ballot and take the ballot home with you. And on Monday, voters are welcome to come and request an absentee ballot up until 5 o'clock p.m. However, you will not be able to take your ballot home with you. The ballot must be voted at the clerk's office. Further note, photo ID is required when requesting your absentee ballot in person. When voting a presidential primary election in Michigan, election law mandates that voters requesting a ballot must request a ballot type: a Republican ballot, a Democratic ballot, or a no-party ballot. Again, this is required by Michigan election law. This ballot selection is only required during a presidential primary election. For more information concerning the upcoming presidential primary election, you may visit our city website at romulusgov.com or michigan.gov/vote. And as always, for questions you may have concerning the election, please do not hesitate to contact the clerk's office at 734-942-7540 or stop by. We will certainly be glad to see you. Until next time, I hope to see you on Election Day because your vote counts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the clerk's report, there's a second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 19/20-16 to recognize anticipated revenues to be received from the Michigan Indigent Defense Compliance Plan grant funding and set up the anticipated line budget for additional operational expenses for fiscal year 1920. Any revenues in excess of expenditures will roll over into fund balance and will be utilized for the fiscal year 2021 budget according to the state of Michigan's grant period. And Mr. Chair, this budget amendment was initially introduced at the regular meeting of February 3rd, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 20-16 for the MIDC funding.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for second reading, final adoption of a budget amendment 19/20-16 for the MIDC funding. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
Number 7, treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and audience. I have a few items on my agenda. I'd like to remind everyone, last week we were collecting for real property taxes and personal property taxes. As you know, it is a leap year, so February 29th fell on Saturday. So we continued to collect taxes through today. However, if you have not paid your real property taxes or your personal property taxes, you can drop those in the drop box out front. We will process them on time, but they must be in the drop box by 8 a.m. At 8 a.m., we will go out there, we'll empty out the drop box and process them on time. After 8 a.m. tomorrow, they are sent to the county, and from that point on, for the real property taxes, Wayne County collects them. However, as a reminder, there is a kiosk at the rack, so if you do need to make a Wayne County payment or a DTE payment, you can process your payment over there at the rack. Also, I'd like to just thank my staff, Ron and Amanda. They did work over at DPW this weekend for Dog Days, and Mr. Wadsworth will explain more on that. So I'd like to thank them for their hard work. It's always appreciated. And then finally, I've been asked to share an event that's coming up on Sunday. It is for St. John's Lodge, and it is their annual Family and Friends Bowling fundraiser. It is on Sunday, March 8th from 5 until 11. It is at the Town and Country Lanes on Wayne Road in Westland. Tickets are $20, and if you are interested or like to support the organization, they do a fine job and a lot of great work in the city of Romulus as well as outside. I do have tickets, and you can stop by my office or give my office a call, and I will be happy to sell one to you. My number is 734-942-7580. Thank you.
Mr. Barton,
Thank you.
if I
Yeah.
could just expand on what the treasurer was referring to. This past weekend was the cat and the dog shot day, and they issued 54 licenses, and they seen well over 100 people came, and there was nothing but compliments about what we did there for the public. And our treasurer had her people there, and they did a real good job.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer.
Number 8, we have public comment. This is the portion of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address City Council. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name and address. Please note, you have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time would be upon the consent of the chairperson. And Mr. Chair, I didn't receive any request at this time.
Any comments from the audience? No comments from the audience. Comments closed.
We have number 9, unfinished business. Number 10, new business.
Ms. Williams?
Yes. Over the weekend, I received several calls concerning our new chief mayor. So my concern and the residents' concern is, so will we be paying 2 chiefs with the new hiring of the interim chief?
No, we have one off on disability, and we'll be paying an interim chief as of this week. He'll be sworn in. There was an email sent out and a notice given to you for Wednesday morning.
Okay, so there's no way that we could have used one of the individuals that's already there to put in that position?
Well, we went for 8 months with 2 captains overseeing that. So at this point in time, it's an interim position, and God willing, our chief comes back, he has a spot. So this is an interim position only.
So what is the dollar amount this is, will be additional that the city will be paying?
I can get you a memo on it. I know there's no health benefits, but I can get the exact number for you.
Okay. Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Any other?
Number 11 is communication.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
I'm gonna try to make this quick, if possible, but, if I don't, okay. I just wanna say, first of all, I have been talking for 7 weeks about the soul food dinner. As many of you all know up here, and many that may who don't know, we had to cancel it because of some school decisions because of the weather. For a person like me, it was very discouraging, it was very disheartening. And so, went to a lot of prayer about it and everything about why, one trying to understand it, but God works things together for the good. So I just got to say that. And so it was such a good thing that came out of the cancellation of the soul food dinner. I talked to many people on the day that we knew that it wasn't going to go forth on Thursday. We tried for Wednesday, we canceled it. Thursday, the weather, we canceled it. And so I'm just talking to people who care, people support. Stacy Page, Ms. Abdo, go check out the senior center. We actually went to the senior center. I mean, very last minute stuff. And I need to say this too. We had such a large amount of supporters for this event. We did something different this year with the culinary team and our new chef, our returning chef. So it was really going to be just like a great event. But with that change, we had to have monies up front, because we had to pay for all this stuff. So the mayor is always just his ongoing support of the soul food dinner. The city of Romulus did a Gene Day, for just collecting monies for us to support. And just a number of people, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I just want to just say that we have no money. We have no budget for the soul food dinner because all the money we give right back to the schools. And so with it being different this year, with us having to buy the food up front, all the money we got, all the donations we received, we had to buy food. So to have it canceled for 2 days, it was like, what are we going to do with all this food? All this food is a lot of food. But again, I got great suggestions from our electeds. We went to the senior center on Friday, very last minute, pulled together at the very, very last minute. It turned out to be a great event. Our seniors were so blessed, and it was a blessing to be there. Councilwoman Abdo came out and helped, Reverend Willis, Pastor Akeem, Deb Latner, she's our newly appointed police fire and safety commissioner. My mom, Reverend Tally, and myself went out and served the seniors. Very last minute, got an announcement out to them, and they packed out the room, the community room at the tower. So it was a very great event. So we still got half the food down there. So we still had another half of food to get rid of. And so I also have to say we have great partners with this soul food dinner. The city of Romulus is a great partner. Our school district is a good partner. Principal Marino's on the committee. She was awesome. And I also have to shout out to Jasmine, Dancy, and Jessica, because during them 2 days we had to cancel them. They got the communications out to the city on their side. They put it on Facebook. They did all the communications they could to let people know that it was canceled. On the school side, they put communications out to let people know it had been canceled. So I thank you for your help in helping us get the word out of the cancellation of the soul food. Like I said, great partnerships we have with our soul food dinner. So fast forward, we go on to Saturday. We had alumni, as we saw on our on the mayor's announcements. That event was a very nice event. We was able to provide food for the alumni that day. So we gave out all the food, and I want to shout out to the people who helped me serve. Councilwoman Eva Webb, Councilwoman Virginia Williams, Ms. Carolyn Jones, Debbie Latner, who's a newly appointed Police, Fire, and Safety Commissioner, Pastor Love, myself. It was just and then Principal Marino. She, like I said, we have just great partnerships with this soul food dinner. So I was so happy to say we wasted no food. It was a great 2 days. We did something different, but it was very fulfilling. And again, God just works things out for the good. Something we was not expecting. This is the first time in all the years, 19 years, that my mom has done this soul food dinner that we've ever had that we ever not did the soul food dinner. And so with all that being said, I do want to do a couple of quick acknowledgments just of people who have supported. Again, we have no budget for the soul food dinner. We keep no money. This is all people who have supported us and given us money every year to make sure that we can do this soul food dinner. So again, I just want to acknowledge our mayor, ongoing supporter of our soul food dinner, the city of Romulus, ongoing supporter of the soul food dinner, the Romulus Community Schools as well, our Ministerial Alliance, they are ongoing supporters. I want to acknowledge Stacy Page, a supporter, John Barden, our Mayor Pro Tem, a supporter, Kathy Abdo, a supporter, and she also donated a lovely donation box to us for it this year. Councilman Wadsworth, a supporter, Councilwoman Virginia Williams, Councilwoman Eva Webb, and I said Stacy Page, and just all the support we got on the elected side. And then on the school board side, we had Denisa Terrell, we had Danielle Funderburg, her. We had Debbie Piles just supporting us this event. We had a great donation from our Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. And with that, I have to say that hers came on at the end of everything. The people I've acknowledged kind of, first of all, we got the money on the front end. We bought all the food. Because hers came on the end and we didn't have the event, we're going to still be able to give money back to the schools with the significant donation she gave us. So there will still be monies going to our schools for this event because we don't keep any money. We give it back to our schools. So we had our Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib who donated. We had Judge Brian Oakley. We had the Emmaus team at the Community Methodist Church. We have Sheila Stasek who also donated from our Emmaus team. We had Dennis Awney from the Senior Towers. We had Dennis Davison from the Wayne County Treasurer Office. We had the Jones sisters, Carolyn Jennifer Jones from Mount Olive Church. Shore Waters from Romulus. We had Carl Morris for the Community Methodist Church. We had Pastor McBurrows from the Community Baptist Church, a strong supporter in the Ministry Alliance as well. We had Miss Everett from the City of Inkster. We had Mo's Auto who did a donation. They just love my mom. Linda Collier, Sunshine, did a donation for us. Uncle Joe's Market. We had Debbie Latner, who's also on the committee. We had Pastor Love. We had OHM, who did a donation through us. He facilitated through Tim Keys. Thank you, OHM, for your donation. We had, who else did we have? We had a host of other, and I do want to shout out to our committee. We had an awesome committee who just pulls together no matter what to just execute this thing. We couldn't do it without this committee. I want to shout out to my mom, Reverend Rita Talley, Principal Marino, Tanya Cofield, Don Jameson, Pastor and Sister Love, Carolyn Jones of Mount Olive Church, Deb Latner, our newly appointed Police and Fire Safety Commissioner, Mark Edwards, who used to be very instrumental in our school district, has moved on, but he's still a Romulus resident. We have our chef, our returning chef to Romulus, and our culinary team. So if I miss somebody, please forgive me. It's just so much support. It was a lot going on last week. But again, we didn't have the soul food dinner, but what we did was still phenomenal, and it was very fulfilling. So thank you all, everybody who supported. Come back next year and support us again. We need you, we love you, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Chairman, I just wanted to, she read off a lot of names, a lot of support that's as great about the community, and I know she doesn't want the praise, but it was a tough week, and Councilwoman Talley really held it together. We had challenging times of weather, but the outcome was beautiful, so good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to give Ms. Talley, I almost said Reverend Talley, Ms. Talley here, Kato's, because she was calling me. I was telling my wife, I said, wow, I hope Tina don't have no nervous breakdown. She want to make this stuff successful. And so she did a good job. Good job, Tina.
Thank you.
But I wanted to say something. I went to the alumni. I know it's mentioned on the screen here. Lloyd Ward. And it should be mentioned again what Lloyd does. Lloyd, like I said, he was the CEO of Maytag. That's huge. He was on the board of General Motors. That's huge. He was the CEO of United States Olympics.
Wow.
And he was the captain of Michigan State basketball team, the captain. And he played Romulus. He came up, he introduced me as a guy that played against him, and he also said that he whooped my tail. I want to give a shout out to our Romulus basketball team, which is the Western League champs of Romulus League. Last year they was co-champs, but this year they won it outright. So let's give them an applause for the championship. Okay, thank you. That'll be all.
Jen?
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I just want to take a minute to thank the people in the community and my colleagues who came out this, was it Saturday? Yeah, for the Saturday for the Romulus Drug Task Force Bowling fundraiser. We raised enough money to fund 3, possibly 4 scholarships. And this year, the winning team, only by a few points, were the DPW. But it was very close.
Oh, they finally beat us in something.
It was like 6 points. It was close.
Okay. Ms.
Second place was the St. John's Lodge.
And where did we fall?
City Council came out in total support. I think you were about fourth. We only did first and second. That wasn't bad though, but it was tremendous, the support we had.
Yeah, lot of fun.
We'll get them next year.
To the chair, if I may, we had fun.
We had fun.
We always have fun at the bowling. I almost despise bowling, but I make strikes, so I can't complain.
You picked up a split, I heard.
Or whatever that is. I don't even know the rules of it. I just get out there and throw the bowling ball, and wherever it goes, it goes. And and a mayor showed up, and I think we were probably all about crazy about that time. Sorry, Mayor. But we had the best time. But then with my colleague, Tina, that's what I call her, Tina, 3 whole days. And that's what I speak of sometimes when I'm sitting here is communication. We must communicate with one another, and she communicated. First day, the seniors. Second day, Saturday, serving at the alumni program. Left there at 7. We were there at 3:30 at the high school. Left the high school between 6:30 and 6:45. Went over to the bowling alley, and then we bowled for the mayor's drug task force for the scholarship until around 10:30. So Sunday morning, I couldn't move. But thank you, Tina. Thank you so very much. And I have to, I'm agreeing with the mayor. You did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
But what's so important is it came from your heart, and you were organized, and you communicated. And I take my hat off to you.
Thank you. I do have to say this, I could not have done this. We have an awesome committee. We have an awesome soul food committee. Somebody has to lead, of course, in anything, but we have an awesome soul food committee. So I just want to thank Tanya's here and from our committee. I want to thank her for her many contributions to the soul food dinner. And like I said, it's just a partnership. We have great partners, and then even just the serving days, just all you guys over those 2 days serving. It was just magnificent. And to be honest, I almost didn't even miss the soul food dinner this year after what we did over those last 2 days. I didn't even miss it. So like again, the Lord works things together for the good, and I'm grateful. So thank you all. We all play a part. That's just how we roll in Romulus, right? That's just how we roll. So thank you all.
Ms. Williams, yes?
Yes. Mayor, I would like to report on one of the employees, Roger Cato. I bowled, first time ever bowling. My second game, I let Johnny bowl. So the third game, I went out and I started messing up right away. Roger over there cheerleading for Johnny. We want Johnny. So Johnny loved the fact that he had support from the city, and so I just wanted to report on one of our city employees of him supporting Johnny that well.
Roger's a good guy. He comes to a lot of events. He does a lot behind the scenes, and one day we're going to get filming that camera. He does a lot of work, and we appreciate him. He's always there. So thank you, Roger.
All right. Roger.
And number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.